Happy Saturday, guys. We thought Lion Letitia was bad. We thought Casey Anthony was bad. This woman right here, her name is Hannah Landon. She said, I'm going to show y'all bad. Watch the clip and we're going to talk about it. So the clip that you just watched, guys, was this woman, Hannah Landon, also known as Bonnet Landon, transporting the dead body of her boyfriend's 6-year-old daughter that she had just murdered. So this psychopath, for educational purposes only, kills her boyfriend's 6-year-old daughter, Bella Fontanelle, puts her body in a 10-gallon bucket, rolls it down the street in a wagon, drops her body in the 10-gallon bucket in the little girl's mother's front yard. You heard me right. She dumped the 10-gallon bucket containing the 6-year-old's dead body in her mother's front yard. So after she does this, a little after midnight, she shows up at the local police station and tells them she needs help. She doesn't tell them she just murdered a 6-year-old. She just says, I need help. And she seems to be in a little distress, just a tiny bit of distress. You know what? If I'd have just murdered a 6-year-old, I'd have been freaking the out. But you know, I'm not a psychopath. But anyway, so they have her transported to a hospital, and that's where the police would find her to arrest her for the murder of 6-year-old Bella Fontanelle. So when the father wakes up Wednesday morning, he's like, where's my girlfriend? Where's my daughter? He has no idea that the previous night, this psychopath, for educational purposes only, had murdered his 6-year-old daughter and then went and dumped her body in a 10-gallon bucket in his ex-wife's yard. The autopsy report for 6-year-old Bella has been released, and listen what this woman did to her. She strangled her. Her cause of death was manual strangulation and multiple blunt force trauma injuries to her head. Going to hell, Hannah, that's what we're going to call her because that's where she's going, strangled this baby and beat her to death. Can you imagine the type of monster you have to be to do that to a child? Hannah Ho, you go into hell for educational purposes only. And police have not said what the motive is. And I'm just a couch detective, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say it has something to do with the mother. You know why? Because she killed her daughter and then went and dumped her on the mother's yard. So this chick and Bella's mother have had previous issues because in 2021, they got into a physical altercation at one of the kids' swim meets and Bella's father had to break them up. As well as the same year, they got into a scuffling match at one of the kids' soccer games. And I don't know if Bella's mother still had issues with Landon, but Landon obviously still had issues with Bella's mother. So Hannah Landon is currently being held at the Jefferson Parish Correctional Center on a first-degree murder charge as well as obstruction of justice, and her bail is 0, as it should be. And guys, it seems like every time we think that it can't get worse, some garbage human shows up to show us that it can.
Sorry. You're an adult, correct? Juvenile and juvenile, correct? All right? Mm-hmm. You two are under 18 and you're 18. You're all going to be booked with first-degree premeditated murder. You two will go to the Juvenile Assessment Center. You will go to the Marion County Jail. Okay? Take a deep breath. You'll have no bond. You won't be getting out.
How many years?
Oh, honey, this is not... Listen to me. Everybody just take a deep breath.
Well, since we really didn't do anything.
No. See, but you did. First of all, let's get over that hump right now, okay? That we really didn't do anything because everybody's complicit here. A person died. A person was murdered, okay? We all knew about it. We all planned it. We were all involved in getting it done. So let's hop that hurdle first, okay? Let's man up to the fact that, damn it, this was a pretty heinous crime and we all had something to do with it. Now we got to deal with what will happen to us from that, okay?
Yeah, well, it was like the fact, I know I was scared because Mike had a gun and
you know what? Stop it. Do you think we haven't been listening to everything you guys have been saying in here? Are you that stupid, really?
I know.
And just stop. Because I don't even, lying to me just makes me I hate it.
I wasn't lying.
Oh yeah, you were. You lied about a few things.
After a break
break-in at their home in Portsmouth in Southwest Houston.
The homeowners had left for work. Their teenage daughter, though, was home.
Texted her mom and she said, "Are you home?" The mother said, "No, still with your dad. What's up?" She said, "I heard someone come in." The house? Is Peter home? I don't know. I've been in my room. I don't think so because he was supposed to work till 12 tonight, 12 a.m. Are you sure you heard the door then? Question mark. Now, at this point, Emily know that she heard somebody. She's 100% positive that somebody is in her house downstairs right now. So, she know that her parents, they wasn't coming home so soon yet. So she tried to text her mom to hurry up and make sure her mom not home. Peter working home until night. I guess that's her brother. Somebody's downstairs. Let's see what happens. Emily says, "Mom, there's someone in the house." "What? Who is it?" "Mom, I don't know. There's some man walking around downstairs." "Mom, I'm scared. What do I do?" I can't lie. Immediately what I would do, I would lock the door, open up that window, get on the roof and just stay on the roof. So listen to what the mother said. "Emily, find somewhere to hide right now. I'm calling the police. Lock your door right now. Hide somewhere in your room, okay?" "Okay, I'm in the closet." The closet? And the mom don't make it any better. She said, "Okay, good, sweetie. I'm on the phone with the police. Don't make any noise at all. Stay in the closet until you hear the police come inside the house." Now, what's wrong with this is simply your door lock. He knows you in there. It's only really 2 spots you can hide in your room: under the bed or in the closet. That's why I gave y'all behind that pillow method. Hide behind your pillows on the bed. You camouflage. That's why I say keep your door unlocked, because someone was to walk in your room, they check in the closet, under the bed. They're not gonna check behind the pillows. They're gonna think no one's even in the room. If I lock the door, I'm leaving the house, going on the roof, or running away from outside the window. I'm locking the door because I don't want them to take none of my things. Maybe they just can't unlock it. Emily said, she replies back with, "Okay." The mom said, "Do you still hear him?" "Mom, he's trying to open the door." "Emily, please just be quiet. You're going to be okay. The police are almost there." Emily, they no longer text back and forth. So something must have happened. Now, what happened that night when Emily stopped replying to her mother is when that man came inside and she knew a man was inside. And when he walked up to her door, maybe he heard her as she was replying to her mom. And when he was fidgeting with the door, he knew it was locked. He was trying to break down the door, but couldn't. During that moment of him trying to break down the door, she was too scared to reply. Like, she didn't want to make any noise at all. Luckily, the man could not get inside the room, and the police arrived. When the police arrived, that man was gone. This guy was just an intruder, wanting to steal some things in their house. Maybe he was walking down the street, they had their blinds open, and he seen something he wanted. Or maybe they just look rich.
So one of the surviving family members speaks out for the first time. It is in Spanish, so I'll translate it for you guys. Here it just says one of the family members from the shooting. He says he's the owner of the house.
¿Eran sus familiares, señor?
And then unfortunately 2 of the victims was his wife and his son. They said he ran when they started shooting, and as you can see, he's just really, really sad.
Because Bella, on Tuesday, was murdered. This happened in Harahan, Louisiana. I'm going to give you a warning right now. This is really tough stuff that I'm about to say, okay? Warning, warning, warning. This is tough. There's a woman in jail tonight who is accused of not only murdering little Bella, because, I mean, why does anybody? It's her boyfriend's daughter. But she's also accused of loading little 6-year-old Bella's body into a 10-gallon pail, you know, the kind that you put like pool chlorine in, loading that onto a wagon and then taking it 2 blocks down the street to where Bella's mom lived, and then just unloading that wagon onto mom's yard. And little Bella was found the next morning. This just happened on Tuesday, so it's very fresh. And people of Harahan, Louisiana are just gasping for breath over this one. It is alleged that the woman in that video is Hannah Landon, 43 years old. She is sitting in a cell tonight, charged with this murder. Her boyfriend, obviously no longer her boyfriend, the father of that little girl, reeling. The mother of that little girl, reeling.
Just heartbreaking. We're at the victim's home right now where more family members have arrived, along with professionals they've hired to help clean up after the attack. An unspeakable act of violence. Barbie dolls and baby bottles strewn among the bloodshed. I can't believe what he did, Wilson Garcia tells us in Spanish. He's talking about his next-door neighbor, Francisco Oropeza, accused of murdering 5 of Garcia's loved ones inside his family home Friday night and running off, prompting a massive manhunt. Garcia tells us his wife, Sonia Argentina Guzman Taibat, and 8-year-old stepson, Daniel Enrique Lazo Guzman, are among the dead. Garcia says the man never had any problems before this. It all started when he confronted Oropeza for shooting his AR-15 closer to the family's home than usual, scaring his crying newborn son. Oropeza in turn told Garcia, "This is my property, I can shoot wherever I want." Garcia said he was calling police and headed back to his home, where he says Oropeza followed him, first shooting his wife in the doorway, then chasing after him. Unable to catch up, he went room to room, killing his family.
Everybody that was shot from the neck up, almost execution style.
Garcia says Josue Jonathan Casares, Diana Velasquez Alvarado, and Abdulia Molina Rivera were also killed in the attack.
This morning, Oklahoma police found 7 bodies while looking for 2 missing teenagers, and it is believed that 2 of the bodies were the 2 missing teenagers. It is being reported that 14-year-old Ivy Webster was spending the weekend with her friend, 16-year-old Brittany Brewer, and they had plans to go with her family to a ranch. It is being reported that no one actually went to the ranch, and police believe that one of the bodies may be Brittany's father. This is 43-year-old Jesse McFadden, and he has a long criminal history, and he actually just recently missed a court date that was about child porn.
The bodies of 7 people on an Oklahoma property. The identities have not been confirmed at this hour. However, 2 of them are believed to be a pair of teenagers who went missing overnight. We appreciate you joining us here at 5 o'clock. I'm Jessica Shambach.
I'm Evan Onstott. Good evening to you. We have KOCO's Abigail Ogle joining us in studio as well. Abby, another one of those bodies we're told is likely the person of interest in these girls' disappearance.
Just a horrific scene, and certainly not the update that we wanted to report when we first told you about this. This all started as an endangered alert for 14-year-old Ivy Webster and 16-year-old Brittany Brewer. They were last seen just after 1 a.m. overnight and into this morning. We're told that the girls were having a sleepover with a friend. That friend's stepfather, Jesse McFadden, is the main suspect in this investigation. He was actually supposed to be in court today for child pornography and soliciting a minor. We've been looking into this. He also has a criminal history, rape convictions, and larceny. Several agencies, including OSBI and the medical examiner, were at that property in Henrietta for hours. Just after 4 o'clock today, the Oklahoma Highway Patrol canceled the alert that they initially sent out. Again, the ME will officially determine the victim's identity. Investigators have not confirmed that this is Ivy and Brittany, but it is believed to be that the missing girls were found there along with the suspect, Jesse McFadden, and 4 other people who have still yet to be identified. 7 bodies in total.
From the search scene where 7 bodies were found today in Oklahoma, Henrietta, Oklahoma, just east of Oklahoma City. This is in Okmulgee County. So the background here is that officials are saying that 7 bodies were found on this rural property here in Henrietta, Oklahoma, as they were searching for 2 teens. Earlier today, a missing endangered person advisory was issued after 14-year-old Ivy Webster and 16-year-old Brittany Brewer were reported missing. The 2 were reportedly seen traveling with a convicted sex offender. The Oklahoma Highway Patrol then canceled that Amber Alert this afternoon. So this is an overhead shot of the rural area in which investigators were searching, again, looking for 2 missing teens, but instead they found 7 bodies on this property. We did hear from officials very briefly earlier today. I want to play out that sound for you now.
In 2006, in the city of Kyiv, Ukraine, police were called to deal with a confused man. When they arrived, they found a young man who was scared, didn't know where he was, and was dressed in strange, anachronistic clothing. The man's name was Sergei Ponomarenko, and when the police asked him for his ID, he handed it to them, and the first thing they noticed was that it was issued from a country that didn't exist anymore. The Soviet Union. Police didn't see those IDs much anymore, especially on young people, and this guy looked like he was in his 20s. And yet his ID stated that his birth date was in 1932. When they asked him what day he thought it was, he answered April 23rd, 1958. And that's when the police said, okay, we're going to take you to a little room where you can talk to the nice doctor.
You're crazy!
So the doctor played along with this whole idea, and he asked him if he could figure out or if he could remember how he wound up in 2006. And as recorded by the doctor, Sergei said, quote, "It is difficult to explain what I was seeing. It might be better to look at the photos from my camera." Dr. Kutrikov was curious, so he got a hold of the camera, and the first thing he noticed was that it was an old rare Yashima Flex, which is a problem because it used a type of film that hadn't been manufactured since the 1970s. You can't just take it down to the CVS to get it developed, so he called in a photography expert named Vadim Poisner. Vadim got the film out, and he was able to see from the real info that it was manufactured in 1956, but it was in perfect condition. So he developed the roll, and this is when everything just kept getting weirder. What he found on the roll were photos of Kyiv, but clearly from a long time ago. All the cars, all the clothes, all the street signs, all were from the 50s. And there were photos of buildings that didn't exist anymore. And right there in front of those buildings was Sergei with his girlfriend at the time, out enjoying a beautiful day, wearing the exact same clothes he was found in. And the last photo on the reel, just as Sergei had suggested, featured a bell-shaped UFO. Dr. Kutrikov, being scientifically minded, hypothesized that if this was some kind of alien spacecraft, he would experience time dilation, meaning that time would have barely passed for him, but back on Earth, 47 years would have gone by. That night, Sergei went back to his room, closed the door, and was never seen again. The hospital security camera captured when he entered the room, but it never filmed him leaving. There was only one way out of this room. It was always watched, and the room windows had bars, so there was no way for him to escape without being noticed. They investigated the case, and they found out that there was actually a Sergei Ponomarenko that was declared missing in Kyiv in 1960. They also were able to track down the woman in the photograph, his girlfriend, who was now over 70 years old at this point. She told the police that Sergei had disappeared that day in 1958, but returned just a few days later, the exact amount of time that he had been in 2006. But then she claimed that he disappeared again in the 1970s, and this time he was never seen again. But years after he vanished, she received a strange photo in the mail. It was from Sergei, and according to the note he wrote on there, the photo is from 2050. It shows an older mustachioed Sergei with Kyiv in the background, only in this photo, the skyline is full of skyscrapers.
Feel like you're hostage, now your lover hidden under covers. You only love me when you wake up. Is it me or am I not enough? Then you leave and I'm hollow. Some days I get so low. There has to be a way out.